Is the Democratic electorate, certainly those who show up to vote in primaries in the various states, going to warm to one of the wealthiest men in this country? And or does he need to somehow change who Michael Bloomberg is, given his many lives, in order to appeal to them?
You know, I don't think he's going to change. I don't think that's going to happen. He's 77 years old, and he's he was here in Wall Street, and then he took over the city for 12 years, New York City for 12 years, and then he's been this very active philanthropist. So I think he's going to stay with that. But it looks like he's, this week he's spending $35 million to introduce himself to people around the country. And so that Michael Bloomberg in that ad, that's going to be the way most people are going to understand who he is.
And what is that going to be? What is he going to be stressing, in your opinion, and given you've done work, obviously, and written a book about him, as to why he's qualified and or should be leading the country? Well,
their view, the Bloomberg people, feel that when you look at Michael Bloomberg, he started out with almost nothing. His parents did not give him $1 million when he was in the third grade or anything like that. And so he basically, he went to Johns Hopkins, he went to Harvard Business School, and then he was at Salomon Brothers. And he was one of the first people at Salomon Brothers to realize that this was not going to be an economy based on paper anymore. It was going to be these really clunky things that were computers in that era were going to take off. And so he was fired because he was sort of a loudmouth at Salomon Brothers, and he took $10 million and created this company. And so he likes to talk about himself as a fixer, a person, a doer, and not, frankly, he's not a great speaker, but he's going to try to sell himself as somebody who would like to try to fix the federal government.
Speaking of fixing things, whether it's guns or soda, these policies that he's worked on to fix troubles has become a bit of an albatross.
Right.
What do you think the strategy is to address them in middle America? Obviously, we're not going to Iowa, but he's eventually going to have to talk to some people in the middle of the country who think he wants to run a nanny state.
I think one of the things that he keeps saying is that people in New York City live, after he was here for 12 years, people in New York City lived 3 years longer than people in the rest of the country. And part of it was that he stopped smoking in most buildings, and including, I'm sure, this one. And, he rolled back trans fats, and he would tell people to walk up the escalator and all that sort of thing. The big gulp was one of the failures for him, but he likes to say that he won because people now look at that huge bucket of soda and decide, I'm not sure I want to drink that much sugar. So I think he could sell that in a way that that will make a difference.
Tens of millions of dollars towards ads. He's going to self-fund this campaign, which means he's going to be sitting out some of these debates. It's an unusual path to take. How does it speak to, I guess, how he does employ strategies, both as a businessman and now as someone on the campaign trail?
I really think it's very hard for me to imagine why he's gotten out of these first 4 states. That strategy did not work for Rudy Giuliani, who tried the same thing and came in third in Florida in 2008. But that's what he wants to do. He wants to head for the Super Tuesday on March 3rd, when 34% of the Democratic delegates are chosen. That's his strategy. Who knows whether it's going to work, or whether Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders' view that he's just too rich to be a real candidate, whether that will take hold.
And finally, what about Bloomberg itself, the company? An enormous company, of course, worth an enormous amount of money. Was he bored? and he just wanted to do something else? And what about the future for that company?
You know, I don't know about the future of that company. I mean, there's some competition, obviously, with Refinitiv and Reuters, and he loves that company. He loves going in and learning about all the quants and the brain power. That he's got a couple of brain operations. One's in Princeton and things like that. But, you know, if he became president, he'd have to get rid of it, probably.
Yeah, conceivably. That's certainly a key question.